So last time we shared perspective on BTC, and I was very specific. I said if the weekly candle closes below the weekly support, that will give you an opportunity for sell continuation, and that was actually what happened. And let's make a very quick intro. Now I will show you something about the weekly candle, weekly support, break of structure, retest. So it's for educational purpose and it will serve as a guide moving forward while dealing with BTC. Now you come here again, a weekly here as a weekly resistance, break of structure, return here as a support, and technical break of the support structure, call for a retest. And if you look very well on a lower time frame, you'll find a retest to that structure at that level. And the last one is here, which was my litmus test, and I made reference to it, weekly candle. If you go back, watch my post, I said, allow the weekly candle to close. That was what I said. I said, allow the weekly candle break and close. So if the weekly candle close below this, that's a bearish continuation. Now let's go back and see what the market has done. Look at the weekly candle, close below a demand floor. As the market opened, bearish continuation, break and retest, and that law was enforced at that level, and we have seen a bearish drawdown. But I want to put something into context. Now, if you look critically again, I want you to flash back if you're a trader who always keep memory of market price action like I do. Now, we have a descending trend line breakout here on a weekly time frame, followed by a noticeable retest, and I'm putting it into context. So see that reaction over there. Now that's your current demand floor. This is where I expect our current buy to be on. This is where I expect our current buy to be on. And I have my parameters intact. Why I expect market to continue to dip into that structure. So most likely you could see a BTC of 49k plus, and maybe we could reverse from here. Now their trade impetus came from a notable breakout on a weekly descending trend line at this level. The buyback impetus came from here. The buyback impetus came from here. So I want to see a corresponding support structure to give it a firm grip on buyback. And if you look at here, that trade impetus came from a strong break and retest at that level on a weekly candle rejection we have here. You have here weekly resistance by way of candle rejection, and you have here a support structure. So technically, bearing weakness to a buyback at 49,023. I want to drop that idea. I want to drop that idea. Why I'm dropping that idea is that we have double confluence at this zone. I have a double confluence. The first impetus came from there, a breakout followed by a comprehensive retest at that level, and I'm hoping for a first leg W structure. Now, in a regular fashion of market is to go back to a retest, and it wouldn't be bad to see that we were back to retest this structure officially as a buyback candle before a drawback. That's a regular fashion. The market has been ultimately calling for retest, and it could be at this zone. So most times when you see price action, you say allow weekly candle close. This is how I catch market movement, weekly candle close. So technically now that's your new demand floor. So I want to drop that idea at 49,023 by floor. That's a demand floor at 49,023. I could have loved to make a zone out of it, but let me just keep it simple. Let me just keep it simple. Yeah, it's a zone actually. It's a zone. So to into 47, into 47. So yeah, let me make it a zone. So that's the zone I expect you to hold firm. Certain times in the market, you must be rugged. When you hold a position, you hold it firmly. So at that level, I expect you to have a firm grip of your position at that level. Bye for now.